key items. I've got one suggestion, really, and I've got 5 pictures to sell the story about that one suggestion. But it's really consistent with a lot of things we've heard today. I think Susan's idea of symbiotic sort of value, Aisha's idea of a currency, and some of the stuff I was talking about as well. And that single suggestion is that we need to find a different way of organising ourselves to cater to this kind of crazy different world that's emerging. And this just comes from working with lots of clients on lots of projects for 15 years. I do think it applies particularly to the whole Gen Z conversation and digital natives, etc., but I don't think it applies exclusively to them. This just comes from having done campaigns and built brands for a long time. The single suggestion is that we should use a single organising idea, and I had the brilliant idea of using a C because that's the context we're in, but it doesn't it's nothing more than visual eye candy, really. So I've got 5 pictures to show you, and I'll tell you a little bit of a story through there, and we'll end up in the same spot. Okay, a whole heap of rubbish. Depending on who you are, we all regard the flood of digital content coming out there at different times as nothing more than digital landfill. My tweet is your piece of crap, and vice versa at times. What's relevant is that you find the bit that means something to you. So, next slide, please. So rather than digital landfill, sometimes the digital revolution is the best thing since sliced bread. So it's an entirely contextual thing, and this is part of my point. For one person it's magnificent, for another it's a little less endearing. One of our planners at work actually thinks that Twitter is the greatest waste of space in the history of mankind. We have ongoing debates about it, which is quite fun. If we can go ding again. But this is perhaps a picture that I think represents the world that we now have to communicate in. And that is, it's chaotic, it's organic, it's neural. You can't pick the trends on a macro scale. You can't pretend to write a plan that's going to reach all the corners of it. And this is in New Zealand, where we've got a relatively intact media environment and place to work, let alone other countries where it's bigger and more fractured. So how the hell are we going to communicate to this sort of apparently chaotic environment? Well, ding again. What we can't do is use traditional approaches and ways of doing things. In the past, and I've been involved in many of these myself, sales targets have been calculated. Right, we need to go and get 10,000 of these in the next quarter. Right, we'll develop the propositions, we'll do some research, we'll quantify the qualitative research, we'll then write some internal briefs, we'll get sign-off from everyone in the company. Then we'll call the agency. We're already 3 months into this, by the way, so the quarter's gone. Then we'll call the agency. The agency will try and look clever across the table. They'll write reverse briefs. Then we'll debate the reverse briefs. Then we'll ask for quite a lot of time to think about it. Then we'll come back and present some ideas, and there'll be some brilliant ones and some crap ones. And time will keep passing. And then eventually we'll come out with a highly structured Excel spreadsheet of a campaign. It's just not really going to work when you take into mind the sort of environment that the flock of seagulls that we're looking at. It's not really going to work if you accept that for 99% of people, something is digital landfill, but that 1% is sliced bread. So we've got to take a new approach to this. That's my last slide. And that is, I think we have to have a single organising idea. To succeed in marketing, to succeed in communicating now, this notion of being control freaks and having your attention over everything isn't going to work. We're just going to fall over, we're going to be too slow, we're going to be too inflexible. I love hearing Aisha talk about the notion of empowering people with energy, and then the notion of releasing it on YouTube and letting it go somewhere and learning from that. That's a great lesson for all of us, and what that represents in the way of how we structure our campaigns is really important. I'm having big conversations with big companies at the moment, which in spirit are aligned to that. I might get Aisha up to something. So I think we need to adopt the idea more fully, because it's not a new idea, of a single organising idea. There's obviously a lighthouse represents that. Now, a lighthouse doesn't control all the ships that go by, but it sure as hell is a reference point for them. In marketing today, perhaps in Fruitcore, where there's all these young people who come with crazy ideas, some of them good, some of them bad, with the radio bureau before, then we can't sit there and vet them and control them in an old-fashioned command and control way. As long as they are consistent with the organising idea, perhaps we should give them a go. If we're not going to spend $1 million on a commercial, but we're only going to spend $10,000 on launching a little WordPress blog site to see if people catch on and then take part. Great if we don't move on quickly. So what can you do as communicators, or what can you do as originators? education, be damn clear about what your single organising idea is, and then apply that ruthlessly. But don't seek to control every dollar of your budget and every day of